What's going on, YouTube? This your boy Stretch, and today, I guess what I'm gonna attempt to do today is take off the bed of my 1989 Ford F-150, and the reason is because there's a dent in the side by the front gas tank. I can't get to it underneath the truck to try to knock it out. I tried to use a dent puller, the little one that you buy that has a little suction thing on it. I tried to use that, but the way I guess the dent is, it won't hold onto uh, the side of the truck to be able to pull it off. I guess it leaves a gap or something, so it won't suction against it. And then I tried using a plunger. I tried all kind of stuff from watching YouTube videos to see different things that they do, but none of it will work at the moment. The only other thing that I haven't tried yet was taking what is it? It's a certain type of puller that you can get that you use a hot glue gun basically, and it's like a 3-prong type thing. I say it's kind of like, I ain't trying to throw up gang signs, but it has three parts on it that goes, and you put the hot glue gun on the center part, and it'll stick to the side of the truck or vehicle or whatever. And on the end, it has a little knob or whatever that you turn. And as you turn it, it pulls, the center comes out, and the other two just sticks and stays against the truck. And you pull that center out. And then supposedly it doesn't mess up the paint or anything, because the hot glue, once you finish with it and you pop it off, you can just peel the hot glue off of the side of the vehicle, and it's supposed to not mess up the paint. But I don't have one of those, and I don't feel like going to buy one, which might be an easier way to do it, but I'm going to attempt to do something different. I tried to get under the truck and use my foot, and I held onto the drive shaft and try to use that to pull myself and push my foot into it to try to push it out. It popped out a little bit, but not really much. But the way the angle is and where it's at, I can't really get to it. So my thing now is I'm going to attempt to take the bed off the truck and flip it upside down. And I should be able to get to it with no problem at that point and knock it out. Looking at it, the only thing that's really keeping me from being able to knock it out while it sit how it is because of the frame of the truck and all the other little stuff that's right up under there. You can't really get any momentum with a rubber mallet or anything else. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to take y'all outside here in a second and show you the dent so you can see what I'm talking about. And we're going to go from there. Alright, so we done came outside. Here's my truck here. It says the old 89 F-150. Don't mind this stuff here, you know. Old trucks, use it as a work truck. Usually, you know, you got stuff you just throw it in the back of the truck for now. So I had to take it out the bed. And from what you can see, what I've already done was, it had a bed liner in it, one of the plastic bed liners. So I've already unscrewed the bed liner and went on ahead and pulled it back. Right now, I just don't feel like putting it anywhere at the moment, so I just leave it. It's not in the way right now, so I'll leave it right there until I take the bolts out. Now you see what I'm gonna do with this truck basically is restore it. It's a truck I got from my dad, and I mean, it's an older truck, nice paint job in some areas, but then you got a lot of parts that I need to replace, like the rubber, these things here. Then you can see, like up front, the clear coat started peeling off and all that, so I'm gonna get all that done to replace the badges and things of that nature, right? So over here you can see is where my dent is, and the way it is, where it sits at underneath, I can't really get to it. So my main goal with this is to pull the actual bed off the truck, turn it upside down, and hopefully I should be able to, looking at it the way it sits, or when I get under there looking at it, I should be able to access it a lot easier once it's off the truck and the frame isn't in the way. As you see, it's one of the older ones that has the dual fuel tanks, which It's pretty cool. They come in handy. Both work, so they're good to go. In the bed of the truck, there's these screws here. It's one here, one over there, and it's all together. It's three on each side going back. And those are the only 6 bolts that are holding the bed of the truck onto the truck. Once I undo those screws, those bolts, then I have to take a quick pause for a minute and wait for my neighbor to come home so he can help me lift it off. I know it's not that heavy. I could probably get it off by myself, but why work harder when you can work smarter and get some help just to lift it off real easy. So the bolts that are under there, the nuts that are on there are 18-inch socket, and you probably need an extension to get to it, and possibly I would need a swivel as well to get to it. I might not need a swivel for some of them, but I may need a swivel, so I'm gonna get to that part real quick now, and once I get the bolts off, I'll let you know how that go. All right, as you can see, I just put the bed liner on out so I can expose all the screws, or all the bolts. You can see it's one there, one over there, one there, here, there, and there. Those are the only 6 bolts that hold the bed onto the frame. From this point, after I removed that, since it wasn't fitted in there properly like it's supposed to be. All this trash here has got underneath there. You see I already swept out pretty much everything. I'm gonna get rid of all that trash there. But I'm thinking what I'm gonna end up doing is I think I'm gonna get rid of that bed liner and just leave it open like it is now for now, and then I'm gonna come back later and put a rhino lining in here, because I like the rhino lining a lot better than I do the plastic liner. So if you know anybody want a plastic liner, hey, tell them to hit me up, send me a message, they come get it. Other than that, one thing you have to do, I don't know for every screw, I did it for every screw, but if you see how this hole is, it's circular. It's kind of an oval, but it's circular, a real big circle kind of. And you see on here, on this bolt here, this is an oval shape down here, so it fits in there certainly it's supposed to. And the oval is supposed to keep it from being able to turn. I don't know why they use oval when most places now that you find use a square, because when the square goes in there, it's not going to turn. On the middle one here, you can see it is actually a square, which I don't know why they didn't do it all the way around, which would make more sense. And the screw here is a square, so when it's in there and you using the I use the impact to take it off. While you're using that to take it off, it holds it still. So what I had to do for the front one, because it was spin, was I ended up having to get my wife to stand in the truck and have her stand on top of the screw to keep it from turning while I was using the impact, which my impact is right here. I got an air impact. I also have an electric one, but I love the air one a lot more because it's a lot smaller and can get in more tighter spaces. So now I have this done. What I'm gonna go and I'm gonna empty out all this trash out the back. I don't think I'm gonna put that bed liner back in. I might just set it back in for the time being, but my next step now is to actually come into the gas cap areas, the 2 gas tanks, and there are, so you got to take the gas cap off, and there are 1, 2, 3 bolts in there that you have to remove, and you actually need to take the actual gas cap itself off, because what's going to happen when the bed lifts up, this here is gonna, once you pull this off, it's gonna fall down into the hole. So you need to be able to lift the bed up off of that. And there's going to be a couple of clamps underneath, and I will show you that shortly, that you are going to have to remove, that holds the gas tank line, whatever you want to call it, in its place. I'll show you that here momentarily, but I'm gonna have to remove those screws there, and to me that looks like a 8mm. So I'm gonna get the 8mm. I'm gonna take both of those off, and then I will show you underneath the clamps that you will have to remove. So give me a moment and I'll be right back with you. Alright, so as you can see, I got the bed pretty clean as much as possible. I got all the leaves and all that good stuff out. I kind of scrubbed it, but this stuff still won't come up just yet. So I'll work on that later, but that's not really a big deal because it's going to get covered with rhino lining anyway. One thing that I didn't mention is that there are, for this model, they have these little fender well things. I don't know what they call exactly, but they there. So there are some screws on the back of here, and what I'm gonna do is take, should be just these two screws out, and then that'll free the body from that. So, and this is also connected to the step rail. So once that's free the body from there, it shouldn't be no problem with it lifting it off. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that, and then I'm gonna get my help to help me take it on off. I'll be back when I get to that step. Alright, so underneath the truck, as I was telling y'all about earlier, there is a clamp that you have to unscrew the gas tube from the bed of the truck. And it's these clamps here. One of them just holds the tube onto the pipe itself, and then this one here is actually connected to the bed. So I'm gonna unclamp this, and once it's undone in here, the 3 bolts, then it'll be able to sit inside with no problem. And it's going to be the same thing on the back as well. So I just want to make sure you saw that as well, that something need to be taken off. I just noticed I was wrong on that first part. So the one that was in the back here is what holds the pipe into the hose. It clamps it on, and then the front one actually goes around this hook here, and that what keeps it secure to the actual bed of the truck. So now that that's off, we got the screws out up there. We got to take the piece off up front. Should be that's my boy Mike right there. He came down. He the muscle that's finna help me take this bed out this truck. But I want to say we're gonna figure this out real quick. My bad. Some kind of way this has to come off of here, and maybe it just stuck on there. So I'm gonna play with this for a minute and see about getting that off from around there so that can fall through there, and I'll be back. These out, but I had a little problem. Not really a problem, but based off of other F-150s that I've seen before, they were able to, so here's the pipe. This piece here on this one is on the outside here. On others I've seen, this piece was on the inside, and so it was able to just drop down in. So when I put it back, I might put it back like that, or I might just put it back like how it is now. But what I ended up having to do was go under, and where here was where one of the clamps were, and it attached to the hose underneath the bottom that goes to the gas tank. And then this hose here, of course, goes to the opening there, and it actually goes through that hose first, and then this locks onto the hose so it don't go anywhere. And the same thing with the back one, but as you see here, the back one has a shorter hose for whatever reason. But so I had to end up taking them off. But when I pulled it out the top, how it sits like this, I ended up had to spin it to end up to be able to pull it out properly. So we got that out. Now the next thing is, oh, one other step I don't think I mentioned to y'all. Let me get down real quick. underneath the bed, the back of the bed. This one, I don't know what they did with this one when they first got it or whatever, but when I got it, these wires already cut like that and stuff, so I had to make my own makeshift trailer connector and everything, which I got all that working properly. But there is a harness here that needs to be disconnected, and it connects the the lights and everything for the bed, the back of the bed and everything. So hopefully I got that disconnected. Hopefully there is no other wires attached to anything. I do see some here running kind of through the frame, so I may have to unattach those somehow, or I might just cut them and resplice them in the end, because I don't know who did this, but they did it. Other than that, looking at everything else, yeah, these wires, same thing, running through the frame, so I might just have to unattach those, but that ain't no problem. After that, then this thing will be ready to come off. Alrighty now, so as you can see, I was able to get the bed off. My neighbor, my partner down the road, he helped me lift it on up, and we just badged it up. I was going to take it all the way off and turn it over, but just to get to the dent, it actually makes sense to leave it like it is right here, because I'm able to actually get in here right there. So I am able to get to it. The hard part now is I've been banging on it already. I got it out a little bit, but just trying to get it out using the rubber mallet right now. I'm gonna try to finagle a couple different things to try to finish pushing it out. It ain't got to be fully perfect, and from what I did so far, it is a lot better than what it was. So I even got this out a little bit, but I just got a little bit more I got to try to get out there. Now it actually went too far right here somehow, but overall, like I said, this is an 89. I don't know where it came from originally. My dad bought it for his upholstery business, as to move furniture around, and he got another truck and told me if I wanted I can come get it. I came and got it. Wherever they've been driving, wherever this truck originally came from, it seemed like there must have been a lot of dirt, or it was driven on a dirt road or something a lot, because it is 50 under here. And what I'm gonna do now, while I got everything off, while I got this off at least, and I can get to this real easy, I'm gonna pressure wash all of this under here and get all this dirt off, because every time I'm underneath it and working on it, everything be falling in my face, and even I wear my protective glasses, but everything fall in my face. So I'm gonna go ahead and pressure wash all of this now, and I'm gonna work on this dent and everything, and we'll figure it out from there. Alright, so I kind of messed up. Not really messed up, but I know I told you guys that I was gonna pressure wash it and get it all clean and stuff. I forgot to actually come back on and show it after I finished pressure washing it, the difference in everything. But I went ahead and put this picture in here so you can see how it was after I pressure washed it, because it started trying to storm on me when I was finishing up, so I had to hurry up, run back inside, and get everything put up. And when I came back out the next day to finish up, I done forgot to go back and re-record it. But so I done went in, press washing. As you see now, I went on and took some black paint, and all of those parts that were rusty, the frame, I went ahead and got some Rustola black paint and put on there, so just to make it look a lot better from when you see it from the side and everything. There's a couple of spots I had to go back. As you see, it's still wet now because it went back, and there was a couple of spots I had to go back and re-hit with the pressure washer. So once I hit those, or once this finished drying up, then I'm gonna go back and finish spraying it with the black. So I just got a little bit there, And then that part there, I'm gonna go ahead and do black, and then the other side is pretty much done except for one little spot on the back over there. I'm also gonna go ahead and hit that rear diff up on the back side, and then part of the or most of the axle, because you can kind of see it from looking in. Even with the bed on, you can kind of see it. So I just want to get everything up under there looking neat and clean. Once I spray that, once I finish painting that and everything, I'll be ready to pull the bed back on. So as I was telling you earlier, I was working on getting the dents out. If you go back and look at it before, it is a huge difference now. I might have messed up and made some little cracks and stuff in the paint, but that I'm not worried about because all that's going to come off anyway and get repainted. What I didn't want to do is have it where that dent was in there and I have to fill in a bigger spot than what I needed to, whereas now it's nowhere near what it is. I get that straightened out when they get ready to paint it. Other than that, I think that's pretty much it. Once I finish spray painting those spots there, I get the bed put back home, put everything back together, and then my next video will probably come in a few weeks, probably when I'm going to replace the actual exhaust on here, because as you can see here, that's part of the exhaust itself hanging down there, but as you can see, it's all, it got holes all the way up in there, all through there. So even to have all them holes and all the exhaust coming out there, it still sound pretty good actually. But I'm gonna get that taken care of. I'm gonna change it from a single stage exhaust to a dual exhaust, and I'm gonna attempt to put the exhaust on myself. The only issue I might have is if I had to weld the hangers, I might have to just hold them up use something to hold it up in the beginning, and then afterwards I will take and drive it up to a shop or somewhere, a welding shop, just get in the weld the hangers on. But I'm gonna change it to dual exhaust, and the one I'm looking at is the exhaust is actually gonna come out here, right in front of both tires. So I'm looking forward to it and seeing how it's gonna sound afterwards. It got the 302 5.0 motor in it, so I'm gonna see how it sounds afterwards. So until that point, I'm gonna still just finagle with this for a minute, and then once I get it all back together, I'll let you check it out. Alright guys, so as you can see now, I done finished doing what I'm gonna do as far as the painting go. Everything I wanted to get painted so far is painted. I just went ahead and painted the diff, the whole back of the diff. You can see that in the axle and everything. So we're good to go. So now the next step, we're gonna put this thing back on. I don't remember if I showed you in the last one, but just so you can see the dent. If you go back and look at the beginning portions, the dent is pretty much gone, and all I did was take a 2x4, probably about 10 inches long, and I kind of used it and put it on the back side there and kind of used the hammer. I used the rubber mallet to kind of knock it out, and then when it got up to the top part and I couldn't really get up in there, I just got a longer 2x4 and used the wedge up in there behind here and up in there. Then I just used it and used that to pull on it, and the force was able to allow it to push out. We do got some cracking, but that ain't no problem because it's going to get painted anyway. But overall, it's a lot better than what it was. But now we're going to get ready and throw this thing back on here, and then from there we're going to worry about the next step. Alright, so there we go. We got it back home. All the bolts are in the holes. I just got to get under there and bolt it back up. I can see the dent. It's still, you know, in there kind of a little bit, but it's nowhere near what it was. So I say it was an overall successful job. I can actually get the plunger to actually attach now, so I'll probably mess with that for a little bit, see if I can pull a little bit more out with the little plunger thing, the little suction cup that I got from Harbor Freight. Overall, it wasn't too bad of an experience. I was able to actually get under there, and a couple things now that I got to clean up on here, but that was on the bed part that was down. But overall, like the leaf springs, the actual axles, and different things of that nature, I was able to get under there and paint all of that black. The frame is all black now, and I'm gonna knock out some more of the black paint on some of that stuff just to get it back nice and good, and then I'll bolt everything back up, and I got to put my wires back on there. Other than that, that's it for this project. The next project I'll be working on is putting in changing it from single exhaust to dual exhaust. But until then, I'll catch y'all later.